Malbs joining G2 might have been the best roster change of the entire year so far, so I'd like to take a look at this recent tournament that they just won versus Na'Vi, which was of course the Blast Fall Final, and I'd like to take a look at the fourth map and kind of just discuss how important I think that Malbs is to this G2 team, and we'll get into that right after a quick word from today's sponsor. Today's video is sponsored by Skin Club. Now you must be over 18 before you play on the site, but if you are and you do decide to play, Skin Club is a site that has over 100 cases that you can choose to unbox. Now you can either unbox them individually like we're doing on screen now, or if that's not your thing, you can actually put a bunch of cases into a case battle and play versus another player where the winner gets to keep everything that was unboxed during the battle, and when it's all said and done, you can use the upgrader to take the skins that you got that you're not the biggest fan of and see if you can maybe get away with something better. And then once you finish, you can actually withdraw any skin that you want right onto your Steam account. If you decide to check out the site, make sure you guys use my link for a 7% deposit bonus. Just make sure that you play responsibly, and let's get right back into the video. So when Malbs first originally joined G2, I talked a lot about how he was a very valuable asset to M80 and how I was pretty excited to see how his firepower transitioned into tier 1 play, and so far I don't think I've been disappointed. I mean, they went second at the Esports World Cup, followed up by a first place finish here. I know this isn't going to be like a normal demo review that I'm doing where I already spoiled the end result, but either way I think it's actually pretty exciting to see how Malbs plays because he doesn't play the traditional role that you're expecting him to. When I first saw that he was joining the team, I thought that he was going to be an aggressive entry, somebody like what Nico was doing, but it seems that they're using him in a completely different way, which is he's more of a second in kind of guy. He goes in first if he needs to, or if the timing says he needs to go first, but for the most part, you're going to see a pretty common theme on both T and CT side, on at least Inferno, that he likes to go in second most of the time, behind Nico. So here we have a really cool pistol round where he gets 2, and you'll note that both him and Nico both are not fighting JL. Instead of making a crossfire, they're actually both hiding and making it impossible for JL to win. I mean, Malbs tucks in that cubby, Nico hides in mini pit, and the idea is so that JL doesn't have time to defuse even if he gets the kills. Just a small detail, but it goes a long way. All right, now we have the second round here where I think Malbs is going to be defaulting in towards bottom B, which isn't normal. He actually tends to go apartments with Hunter, but Malbs coming towards bottom B, at least it makes a lot of sense in a round like this. I mean, if we look at the buy from Na'Vi, of course, after losing the pistol, they decided to force back up. It is Inferno after all, and I think that it makes a lot of sense to get those 5.7s, get the smokes, and make it very uncomfortable for the Ts, but of course, on the flip side, it's pretty straightforward for the T side to just group up and go for an early B exec, which is exactly what we're going to see. We're going to fast forward because they're actually going to go back and take bracket just to put a little bit of pressure, because of course you have to play this round like it's a gun round if you're playing, one of the better, probably the best team in the world. You don't want to let them have any advantage. They actually get faked out by that pressure, and where we have Alexi B playing in the smoke with the 5.7, unfortunately for him, there's not really much he can do here. They are eventually going to find him. Malbs is getting stuck on him in the smoke, and then he takes him down. But again, you see there's a pretty big effort to have Malbs go in second after Snacks in this round, which I think is, of course, a pretty good idea considering that Snacks hasn't been playing the best individual CS that we've ever seen. So I think that Malbs going in second after Snacks actually makes a ton of sense, considering that that's kind of something that a lot of IGLs do. I think Kerrigan does this, of course, on FaZe, where he will like to run in and get the info so that he can get traded by his stars. And here we have another round where Malbs is going to be going in towards Halls with Snacks. Again, the idea is Snacks is going to get the info, but he dies a little bit too early for Malbs to be useful. So he's gone down, and then Malbs gets spotted afterwards. So they're going to go into a regroup at B. And I think a round like this really showcases how much faith they're putting into Malbs, because again, you have a very conscious effort of Malbs going in second. That way he can trade Nico. And I really like this approach from G2 because Nico is one of the best riflers of all time. Having him go in first to hit the hard shot on the entry, followed up by the trade from Malbs, who can go into a late round, like maybe a post plant, and just win it for the team. I think that that is beautiful. But here you have a round where that doesn't really go their way. Now, I don't think this is Malbs' fault necessarily, but this is an example of what would happen if Malbs doesn't trade. Now here we have round number 5, which is a pretty curious round from G2 in general, because what we have is probably a miscommunication. So Nico goes 1 for 1 in banana. Now they want to go towards A, and I think that that makes sense considering that they know Alexi B is going to be late to the rotate, and Arch gets smoked and they walk up. Now I mean in Arch, by the way, not like the Arch that you're thinking, like right here. They smoke in Arch to fake like they're rapping, but the problem is that Alexi B is now here and he is not smoked off. Since they chose to not smoke Moto and have nobody going Arch, there is a really big oversight in this round. And with that being said, we're going to see the rest of the round come in. It seems like Snacks was supposed to be going in first, but the timing is a little weird, so he's actually behind Malbs, and this is exactly why Malbs shouldn't be going first in. After he dies, which is to no fault of his own, I mean, there's a missing Moto Smoke, Bit is holding him. Snacks knows that his teammate just got killed from Pit, so he goes and it just hard runs at him. Now, I know he's blind, but still, what is he doing? I mean, like, this is a really big oversight. There's no Moto Smoke. He's just running right in. And if Malbs was alive after Snacks dies, I feel like they have a much higher percent chance of winning the round, considering Malbs is going to get that kill. So, I don't know. This round is just a big question mark, but I wanted to include it into the review just because I think it's fun to talk about. Defaulting at the highest level is a little bit different than you might think. I'm going to pause really quick to just explain this. So we have our hard B player, which in this case is Nico. He's going to be in banana every single round. And then we have our 2 apartments players, which in this team is going to be Malbs and Hunter, which means that if we ever do anything like taking bracket or going A, we need to make sure that Malbs and Hunter go first, or Snacks, because he's still the IGL, it could work. And the reason that is because of nameplating. I've always kind of talked about this in all of my videos, but nameplating is probably the single most important thing at the highest level of CS. For example, let's say we kill a player in halls and it's Hunter. Well, that's the normal guy that's there. There's a pretty good chance the rest of the guys are focusing at B because that's just Hunter's spot. He's always going to be there. But let's say instead of Hunter, we killed Nico. Well, Nico's the guy that's always in banana for G2. So if Nico's in apps, then they're coming A, right? That's just how it works. People don't go to different spots like it's a pug. People stick to their spots. They're experts in their spots. They don't want to move anywhere else other than where they are supposed to be. So you nameplate, and if you ever see somebody where they're not supposed to be, then you call that. And the reason I bring that up is because in this case, Malbs is somebody you expect to be in towards A, so he gets sent out first, finds the kill on the Ema. Snacks walks up Arch, Malbs trades. Now, we have a perfect round here. Earlier in the round, Modesty got an opening, which I didn't show. And after we get those kills, so Malbs gets an entry and then a trade, we walk up Arch. Now, Nico and Malbs are walking up, and Nico is actually, again, taking first contact. Malbs gets the trade. Even though Nico doesn't die, Malbs is still the second person to take contact. He gets 3 kills this round, 1 entry because it's his part of the map, and then 2 trades. I know I'm kind of a nerd when I break these videos down, but I really hope that you guys enjoy that explanation. I know I've kind of like talked about nameplating and why people go first in different situations all the time in every video basically, but I think that this one kind of explains a lot because I did just say that Malbs isn't somebody that goes first in, and then he went first in. Well, yes, but on set execs, they really do make an effort to not have him first, but in the default where they're just taking bracket, then it's fine because he's supposed to be here. Moving on to round number 8, we have another one of my favorite plays on Inferno, which is the new Zywoo boost. So Malbs is going to boost up Monacy, and Monacy is going to hold on to the corner at Banana. Now, off the back of this, Nico is going to walk up under the assumption that if nobody is corner, then this top car area is clear, which would allow them to kind of contact into B, and it's overall just a good play. So again, Monacy's holding corner, and Nico walks up. He's not expecting anybody to be sandbags because the molly is there. Unfortunately, though, it has missed and left just enough of a gap for Mr. J Legend to hide in the cubby, and he will take Nico down. But again, Nico goes first in towards Banana. This is another example of nameplating. You'll just see it everywhere you go now. I don't need to keep explaining it, but that is another reason why Nico goes first. It makes it so Wonderful still wants to rotate because they don't expect anything different. Moving back into what happens this round, we see eventually JL goes down to the molly, and they've already rotated one back. They're in a pretty good position to go for a B hit here, and so they will. Malbs is going to wait for everybody to group up. It's going to take some time. He's throwing a little bit of utility just to annoy them before the hit comes in. So look, again, Malbs is going in second. Snacks throws the CT smoke. They run through the molly, and Malbs gets to trade onto Snacks. Again, another example of Malbs being sent in second. He is cleanup crew. G2 have so much faith in this young kid, and I love that. I really think that we need to be putting our star players on a pedestal more often. Round number 10, we have Malbs and Hunter going in towards apartments together. Now, this is something that they do sometimes where they both go up the steps. Unfortunately for them, they're walking into one of the strongest hall setups that I've ever seen, which is, of course, we have Ema in the boiler, and we have the double setup with the op in towards long haul. The idea being if anybody walks up the steps, then they're going to die. And then if anybody tries to trade throughout the bedroom, then Ema's going to catch them off boiler. A really strong setup. Here we have Malbs is going in first, but it's not really anything that they meant to do. Like, he just takes first contact because Bit peeks both of them at the same time. And even though Malbs does still trade Hunter, it doesn't matter because Wonderful gets him as well. Just a cool little apartment setup you could try with your team or in your pugs. Just try it out sometime. It works really, really well. Round number 12, last round of the half, we see another pretty big B presence for G2, but they're being very very careful to not show more than one person at a time. Even right now, Nico's taking a spam through the smoke here, and he is still the banana guy. So if he were to go down, it wouldn't be a big deal. m0NESY spamming the op, but of course that's fine because m0NESY is the opper, so you would expect him to be in this area, sometimes supporting B, sometimes supporting A. It doesn't really tell too much. You see they kind of just wait out this half wall smoke before they end up contacting up here. m0NESY is going to be providing overwatch. The reflash comes in, but they only see Nico, which means that there is no reaction from the A side. No rotates are coming in, and G2 know that their timing is now if they're going to go B. Malbs doesn't remember the lineup, but still goes in second to trade snacks. He doesn't want to give up the timing, even though that Molotov would have been really useful. He still realizes that he doesn't have time to throw it. He needs to get in there. He gets the kill on the guy fighting snacks, and there you go. Another round that goes really well. Even though this was a very panicked, we need to go B now, because snacks knew that they have to, because Nico wasn't like, they didn't spot anybody else, and they think that Nico's the only guy. They have to go now, and they do. I think everything else just kind of falls into place here. Malbs is going to find one more kill before getting traded, and m0NESY, well, he's going to close it out with an op shot. I know it's become sort of a meme on my channel that I don't talk about pistol rounds, but I think one day I might talk about him, because there is some players who are exceptionally good at pistols. For example, Malbs. And I don't know about you, but if you watch this final live, you might have noticed that Malbs had a lot of pistol rounds where he got 2 or more kills. On Ancient, he actually got back-to-back 4Ks in pistol rounds. I mean, look how sharp he is with his first bullet. That is ridiculous. And by the way, again, what did he do? Well, let me rewind it just in case you missed it. What did he do? He went after snacks. They're making that effort. They're trying to let him get in. They're letting him bait so that he can have success. But you know what? Maybe you don't believe me. Let's go on to the next round, which is going to be a 4-spy round where they have those deagles. They have a little bit of utility. And Na'Vi, again, they go for the same approach that G2 did. They go for that early B contact with the majority of their guys. Now, what happened there is JL actually got a kill onto m0NESY, and if we know anything, m0NESY is the opper for G2, which means that that's probably 3B. They have a pretty good read that Nico and Malbs are both of the B players, so if they see m0NESY, then that means that 3 are there. Could be a weakness towards A, but they just don't want to overcomplicate it. They just go B. But the problem is that you're going B against 2 of the better deagle players in the world. Nico's going to find 2, and again, off the back of Nico taking contact, Malbs is again getting to have, like, he gets to get the kills. He's effectively playing the setup, but again, peeking off of Nico. Bad players call this baiting. This is just fantastic CS. He comes through off of, again, somebody else taking contact. Hunter takes contact, and then Malbs gets another kill. Look at this guy. He's actually just cleaning up everybody, but he doesn't miss, so it works, and that's why, look at him. He's 16-8. And he's about to win his first ever championship, and he doesn't seem to be feeling any nerves at all. Now, on the CT side, there's going to be a really big theme, which is that G2 are going to get banana control, and then they're going to cheat Malbs over to A. Now, if you're hearing this word cheat, it might make you go, oh my god, cheaters in CS2. But no, cheating in CS2 at the highest level is a little bit different, because what I mean is, since they took banana control, and you normally need 2 people to hold B, well, as long as we have B, and all of B is smoked off, and there's no immediate threat to the site, we can cheat a 4th player over to A, and the setup at A is very strong. And until they take back B, well, we can do that. And that's what I mean by cheating, because normally you have 3, but we're having a 4th player over because we have information. So that's what they're going to do a lot. Malbs is going to get over here. Na'Vi seem to have an idea that they don't have banana info, so it's a little cursed if they want to come in towards A, but it doesn't matter. They go for it anyway. The setup is ridiculously strong. Malbs gets the kill on the arch, and look at this. It's actually just unstoppable. They can't get anything done. Hunter closes it out. Wow, that's a really flat round for Na'Vi. They didn't seem that convincing at all. Round number 15. We're going to see the exact same thing. Even though it's a full eco, they're going to take banana, and Malbs is here again. And because Malbs is here, if they try to come towards A, well, they're going to be running into 4. And as long as Nico still has this information, which he's going to, and he still has utility to delay, so, like, again, let's say they do run at him, he can molly his feet, he can smoke B off, and buy time for Malbs to come back. So he's going to be completely safe this entire time. And again, if they try to go towards A, well, they're running right into the blender, which is exactly what you see here. Those are eco kills, but still, Malbs gets 2. They call a timeout to try to address this, hopefully, but we see a little bit more banana pressure this round, but it doesn't seem to matter. We have 1 person in B, and he's just going to get nade stacked. They take him down, and look at that again. We have full banana control. Malbs is going to now rotate back to A. Again, like I said, this is a really big theme in this game, because they don't ever really force Nico back. I mean, look at him. He's completely safe at top car, and they don't have enough utility to make him go back. He does get flashed here. It makes him kind of like a little worried, but see, he falls back into this second jiggle. And now, off the back of that pressure, Malbs is going to push in. He's waiting for somebody to take contact here. Flash comes in, finds a kill onto Ima. And now again, we just see the round is over. The round is just over. And it's because they're just taking banana control every single round. Navi's giving them no resistance, and Malbs is allowed to just float wherever he wants and be aggressive on CT side. It is extremely overwhelming. It just is. Like, you can't do anything about this if you're Navi. You have to win banana. So for round number 18, they come up with this solution, which is to smoke off top car. So Navi finally have found a way of stopping G2 from taking top B. Now, in case you're curious why it took them so long, they should just know this. Well, they don't want to get run over. They don't want to have to waste one of their valuable smokes to stop them from taking B in the early round, but they've been forced to. They've been left no choice. They've had no room to fight this entire game, so it happens. They have to do that. It lets them contact up, but of course Nico is well aware. Malbs is going to be doing this jiggle, and Nico's going to set up a retake set. Now that smoke is actually to re-smoke off half wall, but if he hears anything at towards top car in the meantime, like while that smoke is popping, he's actually going to molly here instead, because it's very common for them to be grouped up exactly where Navi are. So when he fakes the retake set, which the smoke lands here, molly lands here, a lot of times he'll just run into sight and you'll be getting overwhelmed. So he actually waits, and whenever he hears some noise, he's going to molly in front of himself, and he's going to nade off of that little pillar so it goes back. Look at how much damage he just did. Well, actually, I guess I can't show you, but he did a ton of damage. Look at that. Both of the nades are very strong. Malbs is going to get a smoke down just before Nico actually gets spammed. But look, the hit has come in, and it's been completely stopped already. I mean, like, what is this? What is going on here, boys? This is the execute for Navi. We have a smoke in the windows and the worst coffin smoke of all time. They did end up resmoking CT, so I guess that's a bonus. But again, look at how much HP they have. We have two guys on 50, another guy on 50, Bits on 22, Ema 74, and that's just all Nico and Nico and Malbs doing nade damage. And then the lucky spam comes in for Alexi B, but Malbs is still in the back of the site. All of his rotates are here. Navi, well, they really shouldn't be winning this round, and they're not going to. That's going to be round number 12 secured for Mr. Monacy, and we move on to round number 19. Round number 19, in this round, Hunter is going to start B with them. Of course, the reason you do this is because you still want to have your op A, but you want to start 3B. Pretty normal. Nico's holding a flash in case anybody walks up, but unfortunately, JL slips the net past Malbs' molly here, and is going to get a clean entry onto him, and that's going to be the opening in the round. Malbs has gone down. Navi is going to end up regrouping in towards A. They're going to run right into this stack where Nico is waiting with the flash, but a full blind Alexi B finds the opening, which is going to leave Hunter and Snacks on an island. And well, if you're Snacks in this position, there's nothing you can do. So Monacy is going to save the op, and we're going to go into round number 20, which I will just tell you is the final round of the game. We have another 3B start for G2. They're going to nade stack the left side. JL, of course, think about it. JL did just die a round before in towards logs. So this round, he's going to play door cubby, which is what I call this. And of course, G2 nade it, and he's there again. Going to receive both of those nades. He's down to 37 HP. Malbs is still running down, being very aggressive while Nico is spamming. He will go down yet again, and I think that this round is best watched from Monacy's POV from here on out. Monacy is going to end up staying in towards B, which is pretty common. You have your opera play B solo. He's going to play for this line here. If he gets a kill, he can reposition and stay alive, especially in the 5v4. If he gets that opening, we can have a 4-on-4 retake and make it winnable. And then on the other side, Nico is going to rotate back to A so they can have a normal 3A setup. And if we go and look at that, that setup is actually about to get tested. Nico's going to be in the site. Hunter finds 2 early kills, and then it's going to be Nico to get the kill on the planter. He's in a 2-on-1 here. He needs to just get 1 kill and make it winnable for Monacy, and unfortunately for Nico, he actually is going to go down here, leaving the clutch on to Mr. Monacy himself. The tournament is on the line. This is map 4 of this best of 5, and if he could just close it out before Alexi B plants, and there it is. He secures the game and almost forgets to defuse here. Gets reminded by Nico, which I thought was actually pretty funny. He has to get reminded to defuse the bomb. And then there you go. Malbs has won his first ever Tier 1 LAN, and I'm very excited to watch him and G2 play. I think they play some really good CS. I like that Malbs gets put on a pedestal, and I think that that's just fantastic. I really enjoy watching this squad. Let me know who you want to watch next for the demo reviews. I have a couple things in mind. Yeah, if you watched this far, make sure you guys subscribe to the channel. I appreciate the support on all the videos recently. Thank you guys very much, and I'll see you guys next time. As always.